Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Hello, you fine, fancy people who are listening to this show on Monday or any day, really, because, I mean, it's pre-recorded. You can listen to it whenever you want.
Sure.
Yes, of course. That's the great thing.
Because it's a Monday for us, it is a priority-only Q&A episode as we try to catch up on the backlog, which is kind of like bailing against the sea, but by God, we've got that bucket in hand.
Oh, man, it's more like using a thimble to bail against the sea at this rate. But
we're going to get to it.
It's going well. All right, yeah. Without further ado, let's not waste any time. We got nothing except for your questions. So here we go. We're getting started with something from Gex the Tail Timer. I hate to be one of the many to hound you on it, but do you work on Lost Hedgehog Tales despite the timing for release not presenting itself? I just get anxious when I leave myself thinking about the state of anything.
I tinker with it here and there, but right now, if I have free time, I am either working on assignments or looking for assignments. Because I don't have a good idea of when Lost Hedgehog Tales will be clear to come out, so it is not the pressing priority. My time has to be spent elsewhere. But I do have notes, I do have the old files, and it's just a matter of sitting down and doing it once I'm in the clear to do so. I'm very much looking forward to that, just so it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not like a finished draft sitting there waiting to go out. I will have to actually sit down and do it all. But with time and reflection, that's probably for the best. Give it a different perspective.
Yeah. And hey, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah, that's got to come first.
You got to keep the lights on, Unless you have a fancy backlit keyboard, it's hard to see in the dark while trying to write anything. So yeah.
Now, if there's any obscenely wealthy philanthropist listening to the show who just wants to fund me to just write things for funsies, contact me at.
Can you also pay the BumbleKast a little bit too? Give us a little bit of philanthropy, maybe. Be nice. Anyway, here's one from PC the Unicorn. Ian, you revealed in BumbleKast a while ago that there was a plan to have Styx go super, but the idea was sadly nixed, which is the same since the concept of Super Styx sounds awesome and was actually something I was hoping would happen when Worlds Unite was first announced. If the idea wasn't nixed, how would you have had Styx react to suddenly having godlike powers? And would she still be incorporating a boomerang as a weapon in her super state?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a super rang.
A sonic boomerang. How about that? Hard to say because it was like at the very, very beginning. So it wasn't like anything was fleshed out. It was, bullet points. We want this to happen and this to happen and this to happen. And when that bullet point gets tossed out, you don't spend any time fleshing out what might have been. But I imagine if we had the time and space to do so, we would have played it for laughs for the most part. Serious business, Super Sonic and Super Mega Man and Super X, and then Super 6 just trying to figure out what's going on or being delighted by her hair floating or something like that. And then when need be, summons up a boomerang the size of a small moon to Club Sigma with. But
I like it. I like it a lot. Here's a question from Dove. Ian, if you had to write a heel turn for one of Team Sonic and make them a major villain, who would you pick? How would they turn?
We kind of covered this last time.
Wait a minute. Did we do this?
We did a more general hero or villain. This is specifically Team Sonic.
Right, okay. Similar, yeah.
And a lot of that thought process has already been covered. But I feel like either, if it's just we're looking at Team Sonic, then either Knuckles to give him something more at odds with Sonic, although we've already covered why that would be not much of a conflict.
Yeah.
Stay off my island. Okay. And Tails, I don't feel like could stick for the long term because nobody would want it to be a long term thing. So at that point, maybe flip Sonic. I can't really rationalize it, but give a reason for all of his friends to outgrow and overstep him, and now they are the answer to the quintessential villain. Maybe. I don't think any of them really work with heel turns, but it's plenty of fodder for fanfic if you want to run nuts with it.
Sure. Evil Sonic is always fun, though. That's why there's so many evil versions of him.
Yeah.
I think that just goes. I think that's just why. So, all right. Here's one from Sonic. Why does Shadow need to wear inhibitor rings? What would happen if he did not? Would Shadow die if all the chaos energy were drained from his body?
I'm not sure, because that's never really spelled out, as far as I know. Like, the inhibitor rings seem to be there to keep him from having, like, super crazy chaos powers, implying that he creates them himself. But that was never really implemented outside of 06. So, it's a very ill-defined aspect of his power. Theory crafting, you could say that he would potentially burn himself out. Just too much power for an extended period of time would be too much for his body to handle. But that's just me making stuff up. That's not official.
No, I just want to think, why does Shadow wear boxing gloves on his hands? How does Shadow type with inhibitor rings on his hands?
Oh God! Now we got a Homestar runner. Strong bad parallel.
Shadow bad.
This is what you wanted, isn't it, Moria? A chance for everyone to have, like, nachos or something.
This is who I am, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, sweet gas control. It's kind of like a remote control, but more chaotic.
Strong bad.
Which I guess makes Strong Mad Omega, and the cheat is Rouge the Bat.
And Silver is Homestar.
Oh, I'm from an apocalyptic
No.
future.
Homestar, not Homstar.
No, Homestar is Sonic. Come on, dude.
Would he be? I don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean, he runs fast, I guess. That's it.
He's a fast runner, and he's the counterpart to Strong Bad. Come on.
I guess.
He's also the only character with a semi-canonical girlfriend. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, Pom Pom is not Sonic. Pom Pom is Big the Cat, of course. Who else?
I'd say he's Tails. He's Homestar's friend for some reason, and he's the only one with a lick of sense out of the entire cast.
But you can't understand a word of him.
No, it's not a perfect one-to-one.
No,
although at this point, if we're going to whole hog, we just say the king of town is Eggman. Get a load of this. Fully loaded mashed potatoes. I mean, fully loaded. There's a quesadilla on there and some hot fudge and possibly an ocean liner also full of hot fudge.
Now I'm getting asked, who's Bubs? And Strong said,
Bubs is Knuckles.
Yeah.
Stay off my island.
That's kind of what I
Don't
thought.
touch my emerald. Get out of here, kid. I'm going to back you up with my fist metal crackle.
And then Strong said,
oh, God.
I can't. It's hard.
Well, I can't do the falsetto Strong said anymore, so he doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
we're dropping Strong said.
All right. I guess we're done. All right, here's one from the Hobo Joe. I missed a lot of the early Archie days and couldn't tell you much about, I don't know, Nate Morgan. But would you please mind elaborating on what exactly was wrong with Tommy Turtle and why he needed to go? From what I've seen, as a character, Tommy seemed relatively harmless, and it doesn't appear Sega had much objection to him. What exactly about him was so bad? Was he secretly kicking puppies or something? Was it a matter of principle, i.e., you died already, stop coming back? I don't get it. What is it that I'm missing here? Compared to Locke, he seemed like a basket of roses.
Yeah, Tommy was a product of the time.
He was
like
also
his initial.
I was just gonna say he was also seen as kind of like shoving tails out of Sonic's best friend's role. It was like, here's my best friend, Tommy Turtle. Who?
Yeah. The thing with Tommy was the first story he was introduced in was a flashback story. And it was a concise, perfectly fine story, a moment of Sonic to have some hubris and a moment of growth. And for that, it worked just fine. And Tommy himself, who was not particularly interesting in name or design, worked just fine as a character to be killed in flashback for the purposes of Sonic's story. So in that regard, Tommy was fine. It's just the powers that be saw the positive response and took that as, oh, they want more Tommy. So Tommy's death, his only appearance, was retconned to bring him back. And from there, he did nothing to contribute positively to the story. He was this obnoxious add-on. He was the Poochie of Sonic, if you will. Like, he didn't look like a Sonic character. He wasn't named like a Sonic character. He didn't act like a Sonic character. And the cast was supposed to treat him as if he was this long lost dear friend, which didn't jive with anything that had come before. And he just kept getting shoehorned into scenarios to validate his existence which only served to make him stand out more like a sore thumb. And then there was the story where the nanites infected his shell, and now he's got superpowers. And it's like, okay, now you're even making him more obnoxious. Yes, he has a power set so he can fit in with the Sonic crew, but it really felt like this desperation of, okay, let's try to make him legitimate when he never needed to be there to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's mainly why folks disliked him, is that he just didn't fit. He was an obnoxious addition to an already bloated cast who didn't add anything of particular value. And, with his second death, come back for more. Now, I tried to tie a bow on it to give some meaning to his meaningless existence. And that unfortunately resonated with a lot of people. And they're like, oh no, I actually like Tommy again. Maybe they should bring him back. It's like, no, did you not learn your lesson? Tommy's staying dead. That is the best use of the turtle.
Oh man, that's very silly. Very, very silly, but very funny. Yeah, I wasn't reading the comic when Tommy was really introduced, I don't think. And when I went back to go read through stuff, it's like, what is this guy? Why is he Sonic's best friend? Where's Tails in all this? What is going on? Why is he alive? I mean, it's just too much. And you gave him character development, and then you killed him. That's that's why people were like mad. So, but now people think you still just kill off characters willy-nilly. You kill off a few characters early on when you first show up, and all of a sudden you're known as the guy who kills off all the characters. Some people are worried like you'll kill off the freedom fighters if they come back to IDW, and I'm just like, dude, Ian hasn't been the killer guy since like 2008 or whatever. It's been a while.
That, and you gotta look at the body count. Who's on that list? Sir Connery, who literally appeared once to kill off two other characters that were introduced in that story.
Yeah.
Nobody was clamoring for Sir Connery. That was pure nerdism on my part.
Yeah, we don't need Sonic's version of Beta Ray Bill. We don't need that.
So, no, like, the Freedom Fighters are on a completely different level than
Yeah.
Connery or Tommy or whoever else. Like,
But then
the Freedom Fighters.
But then they get up in arms if you've made Sally like get roboticized or shot, when it's pretty clear, like she's not. That's not permanent.
Well,
so
people thought the metal virus. Some folks thought the metal virus was going to be permanent.
Yes,
so.
I know. I am well aware. we.
I shouldn't be complaining that the readership is engaged. Just.
some of the readership, it's great sometimes that they may not be familiar with all of the tropes of storytelling, but on the other hand, sometimes it's like, come on, guys, read another book, watch another show. All right. Here's one from Speed Weed. A while back, you mentioned Metroid would work well in a crossover with Mega Man X. In terms of its themes, how well would that translate between the two franchises? Also, given the material X has, even with the classic series backing it up narrative-wise, like alien robots, evil energies, and the likes, would it work well with something like that, or would it be better if it focused strictly on just X's stuff? Also, just how deep would you get into a crossover, if given a chance?
All depends on the nature of the crossover, Like, you can't really set them in the same universe, because I can't envision the Earth of X's time being simpatico with the Galactic Federation of Samus's world. In part because we just haven't seen humanity in X's time that much, if at all. So, and design-wise, it certainly doesn't sync up. So we'd have to have some degree of cross-dimensional pollination, I suppose. Yes, there is the evil energy in aliens in classic, but they don't really show up in X, from what I can recall. X is more about the blurring line between digital and physical existence, and the virus that plays havoc with everyone. So you can play with some of that, and the power suit. What does Samus do if her armor gets infected with the Sigma virus? That could be terrifying. Oh, dude, a Sigma styled Chozo armor? SAX style? That could be nifty.
Yeah.
That could be nifty. Samus having to make do with some repurposed Reploid armor for the time being, or incorporating it into the Zero suit to some degree.
Have Saxophone get infected with the Sigma virus?
Maybe. Space pirates trying to manipulate the Sigma virus, and now you've got Cyber Ridley. You could mess around with it. There could be some fun there. The biggest issue is that X revolves around an ever-expanding cast.
Right.
You have X and Zero and Axel and the is it operators? It's been so long.
No, navigators. Yeah.
The entire, hunter organization, and then you've got Samus, who is very much a loner. So you could play with that, see what happens when she is put into an ensemble cast and forced to play along with people. Or see what happens when you have a solo operative who is able to do the work of the entire hunter organization by herself, pair Samus up with a navigator, kind of meet it halfway. Since, gameplay wise, you do pretty much have just one character at a time for the most part. I don't know, there's a lot of ways you could tackle it, but it would work a lot easier than some others.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the idea. It would be a lot of fun. Here's a question from
horrible Mechanaloid Kraid. Cradaloid.
Oh no. Terrible. I love it. Here's a question from Alphamon or Yukin. Is there any chance Chaos Gamma can make an appearance in the future?
I want to. I said before on the show that I keep trying to find a place to put him in, and I can't. But in theory, he should be on the table. In theory.
In theory. Here's a question from Scruffy Matt. Hey there, oh great and powerful explainer of the Sonic lore. Why was I going to say Bumble lore? Weird.
I am the Bumble Lord. Thought you were Bumble King. Shut up, you.
I say Bumble lore, not Lord, but sure. Do you remember how, in the original Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2, Big the Cat would just show up repeatedly for no reason? I always loved spotting his cameos, fleeing from the gun truck and CD Escape, fishing off the bridge in Mission Street, falling from the ceiling and scratching his butt in a pyramid cutscene. Good times. But one of my favorite Big cameos in the game is at the very beginning, when Sonic busts free from the helicopter and you see Big poke his head out of the door. So my question for you this week is, what did Big do to get himself arrested by Gun?
Okay, so this is a family-friendly show, so I can't get into details. But Gun stood between him and finding Froggy, and I mean, he warned them, and the blood on his hands is entirely their fault.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you won't like him when he's angry.
I mean, the guy can deadlift a car over his head with zero effort. Do you want to see what he does with fishing line? Do you know the tensile strength of that stuff?
Ooh, boy. Man. Yeah, this is very frightening. I like it. Here's one from Off. If the cast had normal, everyday 9-to-5 jobs, what would they be?
Tails is IT. Amy is after school care, like the best matronly figure taking care of all the kids. Knuckles is a security guard. Rouge is a spy already. There you go.
Yeah. Sounds like Big is an assassin.
No, man, he walked away from that life.
Oh, you know,
it's Gun's fault that he went all John Wick on him.
It always pulls you back in, though.
Why did you kill his frog? You should have left his frog alone.
Styx is a radio show host.
Well, absolutely. She only broadcasts herself, though, because she doesn't want the government to find her.
Exactly.
Sonic is like an Uber delivery guy, except he works for every single possible app and delivers everything instantly. So he makes mad bank. He doesn't even have to pay for gas.
Nope, just chili dogs, which give him gas. So it all works out.
And the Chaotix are already private investigators. So.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Let's see.
Blaze is an Imperial princess. That's not really a 9-to-5, but that's her occupation.
That's kind of, yeah. Yep. I can't think of anything else, really. I mean, Sonic was Uncle Chuck's delivery boy in Sad AM. That's right. Forgot about that. He delivered the chili dogs. So there you go. What about Shadow? It's a full-time job being the ultimate life form, I guess, huh?
He has no job. He just kind of wanders around. He isn't going to work for the man. He's going to live his own life.
Apparently he wants to own a cat cafe. I don't know. Sure, why not? There's so many. Omega is a demolitions expert. Yeah. Makes sense. All right, I think that's enough. Here's one from Andrew D. This will be the last question before we take a quick break. In the aftermath of the metal virus, when the heroes are celebrating their victory, we see Tangle and Whisper together, with Tangle blushing and Whisper wagging her tail. Was there any significance to this, such as an attraction of some sort, or perhaps just happiness at being friends? Or perhaps Tangle got a hold of some alcohol and Whisper thought it was entertaining. Was this in the script or something added by the artist?
Adam took it a little further than was in the script. That's fine. Read the room, play it to the audience. Right now, Sega's official word is we're not to really go in depth with any romantic relationships. So they're just really, 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 really the bestest of friends.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm just kind of gonna smile, nod, wink, nudge. Yes, they're great friends.
Uh-huh.
Dry cough.
Oh man. It's just like Kara and Lena and Supergirl. Super, super the bestest friends in the whole wide world. And then they betray one of them betrays the other, and then all of a sudden it's a freaking world-ending scenario. Yes, of course.
For context, Sonic and Amy are likewise just very good friends, according to the current directive. So take that as you will.
Better friends than Sonic and Tails.
And before I get another long Twitter saying this is why you're wrong, yes, it has been different in the past. I acknowledge that. I'm talking about what the direction is now. Okay? And take it up with Sega, not with me.
Vanilla and Vector are just friends. Definitely just friends. Obviously. Of course. Wink. All right, I think that's good enough. That's a good point to take a break. Let the people stew on that one for a minute. And then we will be back, because that's what we do. And we're back. Jumped into this question here from Sapphire Scarletta. How would an official anti-Sonic look and act like? Would he be much more nicer and sweet? What would his occupation be? Would his design change to make him look less edgy as well? Like, would his color scheme change from black to red to something more lighter? I'm curious to know.
That is going to be one of the longer segments of Lost Hedgehog Tales, because that was going to be a big part of what I wanted to do with Scourge. Whether or not it would have been approved, I don't know. A different era, who's to say? But I will get into that at a later date, because there were I want to say there were plans, but folks will take that as to mean this is what was set in stone, and no, it was not. I had ideas. Let me put it that way.
So what's the deal? What do you mean plans with Scourge though? We're talking about Shadow, not Sonic though. Like an anti-Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would he? Are you saying Scourge? Is he Scourge's rival? Is that what's going on?
Scourge. At the end of the Prison Break arc, Scourge said he had plans.
Okay. Intriguing. Well, what a twist. That's you'll never get to see. Rude.
It'll come out eventually.
Here's a question from Les. In a conversation with Mike Pollock, I've asked how he would describe his contributions to a Sonic production. His answer really put things into perspective. It went like this, quote, like my grandfather, the house painter, if you pick me to paint your house, we'll find a mutually convenient time. I'll be an invited guest in your home. You provide the paint, I'll bring the tools and expertise. When you're satisfied, pay my bill, and we're done until next time. Ian, how would you describe your closeness to the Sonic franchise as a writer?
I'm going to follow off of Mike and go with the illustrative analogy and say that imagine there's a rainstorm on a puddle, and each drop is someone's contribution to the overall Sonic mythos. And each one falls and it creates, little ripples that eventually ebb out and become just one of the puddle. I would say that I was a decently sized raindrop, a large drip, if you will. Yes, that's going to be taken out of context.
You big drip.
Yeah, I've made a decent sized ripple in the mythos, and that's been my contribution. And eventually I will cease to matter in the overall grand scheme of things, and it will just be part of what is the Sonic series.
Intriguing. Are you going to go hang out with Shadow now that you're drip buddies? Now that you both got the drip? Here's a question from Noni. Out of curiosity, does Starline have any solid plans with their rock opera they've supposedly been writing? Or do they just have concepts? Or is it just a few chord progressions they think sound cool and a bunch of potential lyrics on a cocktail napkin? And is it more of an actual musical or just a concept album? I guess what I want to know is more about this alleged rock opera. What would it even be about and the general sound of it?
He says it's legit, but it's one of those things where you kind of know it's going to be in production forever. He's got a few good songs. They need some tinkering, but there's a couple of bangers in there, but not enough to actually do a whole show. He's got a couple of really witty lyrics in there, but they don't actually fit to either of those songs. And there's not really a rest of the song to go with them. But he can hum the tune, and you're like, hey, that'll be something when you do something with it. Ultimately, it's supposed to be about Eggman and his rise to power, except as he works on it, it becomes something actually independent and rather intelligent and could actually be a good show. It's just then he realizes that he's going off too far from his original vision, so he throws it all out and starts over because it's got to be about Eggman.
Of course. Of course. That's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. He is the Eggman. That's who he am.
But it absolutely has to be a stage production.
Oh, yeah.
There will be no half measures. The album can come out later, yes, but this has to be a full, grand production.
Of course. Always.
Which he will write, direct, produce, and star in.
Of course. And he will never get any other actors because he will be too picky, and he will fire all of them as he goes through them. It just won't work.
He's also lead guitarist in the band. That's why there's at least 3 different guitar solos worked into the show.
Of course.
And once he learns how to play guitar, it's going to be really good.
Oh, yeah, of course. Has to do everything himself.
Because someone else would get it wrong.
Of course. Anyway, here's a question
He's
from...
He's the worst type of theater brat. I hate him already. Ugh.
Yeah. He's the worst type of person. I mean...
No, Cubot, no. It's step, turn, heel, kick, step, turn, heel, kick, turn. Yeah, but I don't have feet. You're fired. Get off my stage.
Why would he hire a Cubot?
Because he went through everybody else first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Finally got down to Cubot. All right, now we got a question here from Digama. How familiar are you with the infamous Brazilian Mega Man comic?
Enough to know that this is a prime example of why mandates can be a good thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, you can argue that it itself is a work of art, and I can't disagree with that, but it's not really a good Mega Man book.
It does not represent Mega Man, I don't think, in the way Capcom intended.
It's not on brand.
No.
Enjoy it for what it is, sure, but
it's very interesting.
Indulgent, let's say.
Yes. Here's one from Wolfsbane. Sports. No, not the Huey Lewis album. We've seen characters play them throughout the series, Mario and Sonic. Tails played hockey in Sat AM, the Baseball Sonic X episode. Who would be the best in a particular sport amongst the cast? And let's just get Sonic dominating track events out of the way right now.
Well, I think he'd dominate pretty much anything. Because keep in mind, he runs at Mach 1 and has the reaction time to hit objects roughly his size at that speed without careening off a cliff.
Yeah.
Considering my gameplay ability, we're talking about in-universe. So,
except
throw the fastest fastball possible, he's going to see it coming.
Except swimming. That's
true. Now, if we say he has Sonic Colors abilities, he's just going to carve through the water like nothing. But if you specify he has to use a particular form, then okay, that's where the shortcoming is. But basketball, football, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, and anything, he's just going to run circles around everyone else. He is the I in team. Okay?
Yeah, even like shot put, he could just spin into a tornado whirl. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just let things go and it flies, halfway around the world. So, can he skate? I don't know about that.
I would imagine so, but Shadow might be able to edge him out there just because he skates in general, just to get around.
Yeah,
A little more
true.
life experience there.
Hmm.
Are the
Mm-hmm.
flying characters allowed to do any of the jumping events?
I don't know. Is Tangle allowed to
Like,
do a jumping event? She doesn't technically fly, but
runs up with the pole vault, tosses it aside last second, and just springs up with a big coiled tail.
hmm
Cleared 30 meters. Like, how close to the rules do we have to stick here? You know?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you'd have Knuckles as like wrestling or something like that. Could probably.
Oh, sure, any
He'd
kind
probably be good
of
at that.
martial event or strength event,
hmm
as long as big isn't competing.
Yeah, something like that. Let's go ahead and move on to our next question here from Fire Red XY. In a previous BumbleKast, you mentioned that one of Sega's notes regarding the 30th anniversary special was that Bark couldn't be explicitly evil, but could still work with Fang and Bean. If you were ever given the reins to a full classic series, would you take the opportunity to turn that rule into a big redemption arc of sorts?
No, because I like the hooligans as a unit. It would be an opportunity to understand why Bark hangs out with them. You know, why is he with this bad crowd? Is he there trying to get them to fly right? Is he there because he feels like he can't be anywhere else? Is he there because he enjoys it even though he knows it's wrong? There's a lot of ways you could tackle it, but at this point they're kind of, I guess, officially together, and we just got that, man. I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. Let's not mess around too much. Bark is true neutral. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Here's a question from Jib. Considering you didn't write for the Chow Racing arc, and because I'm oh so curious, what was your personal portrayal and thoughts on the part where Shadow caught Sonic in issue 36 and the ending scene between them in the same issue?
See, I'm really cautious about offering my opinion on Evan's run this early into the run because I don't want it to be misconstrued. And I know there are folks out there that will purposefully take bad faith takes on it just to rile people up.
Mm-hmm.
So, best intentions, out there, and they're going to mess with it. And that already gets my hackles up. So, I will say that I feel like she has handled the the current guidelines for Shadow better than I have, with more elegance than I've been able to muster. So tip of the hat to her for that. But I don't know. I feel like it's too early for me to weigh in positively or otherwise because I know this fandom and I don't want to, one, be misconstrued, and two, we're still working together. It's not like I can say anything from an objective standpoint.
Right.
When I was told that they're going to be moving to Evan as the lead writer and that I would still be along, it's like, okay, cool, because I know Evan can handle these characters. She knows what she's doing with Sonic stuff, so no worries there.
Right. Well, that's good. Here's a question from Pan Dulce. In a previous BumbleKast, you mentioned that the Dr. Eggman from Archie Comics would be the Eggman that Dr. Starline dreamed of. That brings me to ask, what would Starline's opinion and reactions be toward the Eggman from Sonic X? Considering that sometimes he worked as a comedy element for the plot, especially with his weird, embarrassing dance from the episode when they returned to Sonic's world.
He would be pleased at first, but then frustrated beyond all reason very quickly after. Key point that I'm thinking of, and this is one of those moments where the original Japanese is superior to the English dub. Don't at me. Is towards the end of season two. No, excuse me, season one, where the E99 Egg Emperor, I believe, is the name of the bot. the super bot du jour was just beating the ever-loving crap out of Sonic. And, it's going too far. It's actually going to kill Sonic. And Eggman from the cockpit tries to order it to stand down because he wants to beat Sonic in Sonic X, not destroy him. And then Sonic turns super and saves the day and blah, 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 blah. That moment of don't do that, stop, you're killing him, would be the point that just sends Starline over the edge. Just, what are you doing? You have him right there. You can turn him into a Pez dispenser. Just good robot, kill it. Kill him. Do it. But and the distinction being that in the English, the scene is dubbed over as good robot instead of no, stop it. And it's like, God.
Sonic X. And our final question this week from Scurvy Pirate Hog. A thunderstorm happens and suddenly all the Sonic comics have ended up on Sonic's world. Fleetway, Archie, IDW, everything has now fallen into the hands of the Sonic cast. How do they react after reading all the comics?
It's a mixed bag.
Would they even all be able to get through all the comics, or would it be like, throw it away and never want to touch one ever again?
I feel like Tails would be a little mortified with his representation in a lot of the earlier media. I think Amy would be entertained by her Fleetway incarnation and might actually try to, try that look herself. Sonic would just laugh. His ego is impervious to this kind of thing. He'd go, "This is weird," or "That's what they thought," or "Am I really that big of a jerk? I should check that." But he wouldn't be fazed by it at all. Eggman would kind of miss the forest for the trees and try to find a continuity between all of them, or a continuity within any individual title, and be angry about it not all syncing up. They're the same characters throughout. Why are they not the same? What are all these different interpretations? Was there no standard to go by? Blah, 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 blah. Whereas Starline would be trying to find something, some kind of hidden clue to it. Obviously, there's a meaning to all of this. If he can go through these strange otherworldly tomes, he will find the edge that he needs to finally do whatever it is he's up to. Shadow wouldn't care. He wouldn't even read them.
Knuckles would be probably concerned about how many of them are obsessed with him and his history. And then he'd read about his dad and be like, "Wow, my dad is a jerk."
Read the old Archie version, read the Fleetway version, read everything else, and kind of go, "Well, this leads me nowhere close to understanding exactly where it came from. Thanks for nothing."
Yep.
Well, what did you think about the Sonic stories? Sonic stories.
Of course.
You read the ones with Sonic in them, right?
Nah. Oh, man. Yeah, it'd be weird. Styx would feel vindicated yet again that somebody's watching her. And Amy would be wondering who the heck Sally is. Our current incarnation of Amy would be, at least.
Styx would be vindicated in that, yes, someone was watching her and writing everything down, but then be really insulted that they stopped only after like 12 issues.
Oh, yeah.
Why are all these other ones going to the hundreds? Is she not important enough? Look at me, darn it. Don't look at me, but look at me.
I feel like Rouge wouldn't care.
Nah, she'd find it kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd read them just to come up with new ways to troll Knuckles and Shadow. Yeah. And then Omega comes in and burns them all.
Orbot is oddly happy to file and catalog everything, but it gets kind of hard because Cubot becomes kind of obsessively collective of them all.
Yeah.
Like, he gets a little too into each title. Orbot's like, no, we have to keep it bagged and boarded to ensure its pristine condition for years to come. Yeah, but I need to make a reference and update my wiki. There's already like 3 Sonic wikis out there. Yeah, but mine's going to be more authentic.
And then they're going to be the ones sending us all the questions.
How do we know it isn't already happening? Just make sure to change your username each time. Otherwise, they'll clue in. Okay.
Blaze would be really creeped out, probably. Same with Whisper.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tangle would have a ball with it, though.
Oh, yeah, Tangle would love it.
She wouldn't take it seriously.
No.
It's just like, oh man, somebody went to like crazy lengths to make all these fan comics. They're so weird. Ha ha
ha. The kid characters would be scared. Like, very confused. Yeah. Yeah. Probably be too much for him. Yeah. I think that's enough. Unless you got some more.
All I got left is a big thank you to all the patrons who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Botnicombe, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Justin G., Mike B., Coupland Crew 128, Duas Dizdin, Diane W., Bradley TT, Andrew D., Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sony, Salute Your Cat, John M., Noni, Dave M., Off, Dawn B., Yami M., Sinfrids, Lee H.K., Lisa M., Silly String, Chevelle, J. Frost, Piggybank, Jib, Hero of Light 13, Blue Title Gamer, Tick Tick, Justin S., Final Neil, Ryan D., Speedweed, Jonathan D., Rachel W., Godzilla Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Dappler the Dalek, Sonic, PC the Unicorn, Dove, Preston M., Red the Supernamic, Pendolce, Fiona M., Joe S., Chad, Jonathan R., Chase L., Owen BD, Ben Wolfsbane, Renard Pixel, Les, Invade Turbo Tunis, Danny the Light, Sapphire Scarletta, Turbo Crooker, John the Real Waluigi, Noah S., Carlos, Lewis J., Lexi Loves Jojo, Corjiro Highwind, Count Q, Spark Z, Fire Red XY, Kimiko, Bad Piggy's Lover, Alphamon Oryukin, Michi, Michael, Zanderoni the Painter, and Scurvy Pirate Hog.
Thank you, everybody. We love you. Platonically. Wink.
I don't know why Callan Q was such a tongue twister.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's just it's a new name, so maybe that's why. Just
possibly.
Kind of put himself right in between some established names and was like, what?
Crafty of you, Callum.
Very.
And they got you even more attention. Crafty indeed.
Very crafty. Yes. You're all very crafty.
All right. That's going to wrap us up for this episode. We will see you Wednesday for an all-standard Q&A episode. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Going away. Going to a place that's mainly outside. Yep, I'm getting put away forever. Going to a farm upstate. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'm still going to peek in on you guys on the Discord. So don't get any ideas. Can't believe you're having me put down. Yep, I'm going to the farm upstate.
He was a good co-host, but I'll do it. He was my co-host.
You know, I put a bullet in me.
Why are you lame now? What's going on? I'm running with the joke. I don't understand it, but I'm running with it.
Yeah, I've always been lame. I mean, what's new with that? No, we were just joking about where I was going. In a week. Yeah, I am literally going upstate. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Knuckles and Rouge are just friends.
Yeah, I'm also not sure what's going on with them.
Also, Shadow and Rouge are also just friends.
And apparently, if you do a certain route in Brotherhood, Dark Chronicle, whatever, Sonic and Rouge are just friends.
Everyone is just friends. No other things allowed. Everyone has to be friends. Even rivals have to be friends. True. It's true.
Once everyone's friends, nobody will be.
Exactly.